ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं चैव ततो जयमुदीरये। जय गुरुदेव।
जय गुरुदेव। ब्रह्मराजी सर्वेभ्यः 13 मई गुरुदेव का बर्थडे है, उसके लिए बहुत सारे प्यार और विशेष के साथ ब्रह्मराजी चैप्टर 7th chanting I will do.
Yeah, you can do chapter 7 chanting.
श्री भगवान उवाच मय्यासक्तमना पार्थ योगं युञ्जन्मदाशय असंशयं समग्रं मां यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु। ज्ञानं तेहं सविज्ञानम् इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः यज्ज्ञात्वा नेह भूयोऽन्यत् ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते। मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चिद्यतति सिद्धये यतामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेत्ति तत्त्वतः। भूमिरापो नलो वायुः खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इति यं मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां। जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेधार्यते जगत् एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा। मत्तः परतरं नान्यत् किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय। सर्वं तं प्रोतं सूक्ष्मणिगणा इव रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः। प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दः खे पौरुषं नृषु। अन्यो बुद्धः पृथिव्यां च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां विद्धि पार्थ सनातनम् बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमताम् अस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम् बलं बलवतां चाहं कामरागविवर्जितम् धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ ये चैव सात्विका भावा राजसास्तामसाश्च ये मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम् दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञाना आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः. I think we completed till 15th. I will just read once again. We completed this verse, but I will browse through the text quickly. Those who do wrong actions, who are deluded, and the lowest among men do not seek me. Robbed of their discrimination by Maya, they have resorted to the condition of those who revel in sense pursuits. Who are the people who do not seek Ishvara at all? These are those who, even though they can cross over this Maya by seeking me, do not seek me. Mam na prapadyante. Why? Because they are buddhas, dushkritins, naradhamas, and mayaya aprita gnana. You cannot say more. I think this is mayaya aprita gnana. It is like they are busy with their indriyas due to the Maya Adhipatya. You cannot say more. Krishna simply piled up all these characteristics, which in short make them Asubhavam Ashrita. People who have resorted to the condition of indulging in what is not good for them. Let us see the meaning of the individual words. Dushkrutinaha, Mudhaha, Naradhamaha. I think we had seen it at length yesterday. Why are they like this? Mayaya Aprita Gnanaha. These are people whose discrimination is robbed away by Maya. Aprita Agnanas means those who have lost their Viveka because of the very Maya that they have to cross. Maya, as we have seen, means ignorance and its products like likes and dislikes and so on. It becomes a decoy. Robbed by this Maya, one is bereft of his treasure, Gnana, which here means Viveka. That rational, discriminative faculty is our treasure. And if the treasure which is given only to a human being is taken away by Maya, these people becomes totally given to the condition of an Asura, Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha. They take shelter of those Asura Bhava. Who is an Asura? Asuram Bhava refers to people who have resorted to the qualities of an Asura. Sura means the one who revels in himself or in things that are good. Asura means opposite, that is the one who revels in all the things that are not good. It can also means Ashushu Ramate, the one who revels only in the sense organs, meaning the sense enjoyments, wine, woman, horse races, discourse, and so on. Or as Shankara takes it, Hinda Anratadi Lakshanam. Himsan Nratadi Lakshanam. Asuram Bhavam. Bhavam. Asura Bhava is nothing but a tendency to hurt others. I just repeat once again. Brahmaraji, kindly correct me if my pronunciation is wrong. Or as Shankara takes it, Himsa Anratadi Lakshanam Asuram Bhavam. Asura Bhava is nothing but a tendency to hurt others, to tell lies. Himsa means hurting another for the sake of personal gain, like money or pleasure. Anrita is falsehood, and Adi can be taken to mean all other false values, like stealing. Lakshana means characteristics. So these are the characteristics of the state of mind and lifestyle of an asura. Given to this, naturally they do not seek Ishvara, carried away by the fancies and wrong values. They will be totally given to the life of an asura, and they do not come to Ishvara at all. They do not even think of Ishvara. The Lord just does not come into their lives. Krishna himself tells us in the next verse that to overcome this seemingly hopeless situation, one need not even know Ishvara as oneself. Just the understanding that there is Ishvara is good enough. Then a certain attitude and prayer will develop, and one will find that changes begin to take place. These changes occur only with a prayerful attitude and recognition of Ishvara in one form or another. That is what really paves the way for an inner conversion to take place. Therefore, it is not totally hopeless. There is a chance. Krishna is going to explain that in the next verse. From here till the end of the chapter, he will be talking about people given to good works and attitudes, sukrutins. Even for those who are prayerful only in distress, there is hope. They may not think of Ishvara at all until they get into trouble, but at least they think of Ishvara at that time. There are some who even in trouble will not think of him. But even if they think of him only in distress, there is a change. That is what we call conversion. Once Ishvara is accommodated in one's life, the change takes place thereafter. So Bhagwan is so compassionate. Even those who are asuras or with those qualities, still they have a hope. It is not completely hopeless. Although throughout their life they have not thought of Ishvara at all, but still when they think due to any, maybe like what we have prison smart program where Gurudev takes care of those hardcore criminals who had done the wrong action. But still, even once they come in touch with such Daivitva, then they also have a hope. And even those people like us, we think of him only in trouble. So even for them, Ishwar, once we have accommodated him in our life, then there is a hope that the changes will start occurring. Yeah, if you want me to read any paragraph once again before we go to new verse 16, just let me know. Or if you want to share anything. Yeah, please remember the word Sukrutins. those who are having the prayerful attitudes and those who are doing the good work. So here Bhagwan is explaining further. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukriti norjuna arto jignasurartharthi jnani cha paratarshaba. Chaturvidha, fourfold, janah, people, sukritinah, who do good actions, mam, me, bhajante, worship, Arjuna, O Arjuna, artah, the one in distress, artharthi, the one who wants security and pleasure, jignasuhu, the one who desires to know, cha, and Gnani, the one who knows, Bharatarshaba, O foremost in the family of Bharata. Chaturvidaha janaha sukritinah mam bhajante Arjuna artah artharthi jignasuhu cha gnani Bharatarshaba. O Arjuna, the people given to good actions who worship me are fourfold. They are the one in distress, the one who wants security and pleasure, the one who wishes to know me, and the one who knows me, O foremost in the family of Bharata. I repeat, O Arjuna, the people given to good actions who worship me are fourfold. They are the one in distress, the one who wants security and pleasure, the one who wishes to know me, and the one who knows me, O foremost in the family of Bharata. Sukrutinaha janaha, the people who do good deeds, as a contrast to the dushkritins, who do not seek the Lord. In this verse, Krishna tells us of the Sukrutinaha Janaha, those people who do good actions now or did them in previous lives. He says they seek me, bhajante mam, and it is because of the punya earned through their good actions that they seek me. Two types of punya. There are two types of punya. One gives wealth, pleasures, comfort, parentage, etc. For this, you do not require any culture or inner growth. There is another type of punya which is purely spiritual, and punya karma expresses itself no matter where one is born. Even if a person has a difficult beginning, it does not deter him at all in his seeking. Those who have this type of punya karma, those sukritins worship Ishvara, mam bhajante. They recognize Ishvara. Four types of devotees. Among those sukritins who recognize and worship.
Sorry, can you just
Yeah.
read the two types of punya one more time?
Yeah. Two types of punya. There are two types of punya. One gives wealth, pleasures, comfort, parentage, etc. For this, you do not require any culture or inner growth. There is another type of punya which is purely spiritual, and that punya karma expresses itself no matter where one is born. Even if a person has a difficult beginning, it does not deter him at all in his seeking. Those who have this type of punya karma, those sukritins worship Ishvara, mam bhajante. They recognize Ishvara. Four types of devotees. Among those sukritins who recognize and worship Ishvara, there are four types. Chaturvidaha bhajante mam. Vidha means variety. Therefore, there are four varieties of devotees. All of them have sufficient recognition of Ishvara to be devotees, but among them there is a gradation. The degree of recognition, their attitude, approach, prayers, etc., all determine the four types. And they are, he says, Artha, Jignasuhu, Artharthi, Jnani cha, Bharatarshava. I repeat once again, four types of devotees. Among those Sukritins who recognize and worship Ishvara, there are four types. Chaturvidaha, Bhajante Mam. Vidha means variety. Therefore, there are four varieties of devotees. All of them have sufficient recognition of Ishvara to be devotees, but among them there is a gradation. The degree of recognition, their attitude, approach, prayers, etc., all determine the four types. And they are, he says, Artha, Jignasu, Artharthi, Jnanicha, Bharatarshava.
Jai Gurudev Bela. It is Artha. It is Artha and Bharatarshava. There's no drag in there. Just to make sure it's pronounced right. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, dhanyavad. Arthah, Jignasu, Artharthi, Jnacha, Bharatarshava. Bharatarshava. Arthah. Arthi means any. It is Arti, I believe. Arti means any sorrow or grief. Sadness, distress, discomfort, trouble are all called Arti. Shankara defines Artha as one who is seized by a distress caused by a thief, tiger, or disease. Tigers were common in those days when India was full of forests. So Shankara commonly uses the tiger as an example. When a person is seized by some distress, whom he will call as a last resort. If he has some punya karma, there is Ishvara in his life and he will call upon him. But only when he is in distress. Till then, he does not think of him. But at least during that spell of distress, he does think of him because he does not see anyone else who can help him. This kind of devotee is called Artha, a devotee in distress. Artharthi. Artha means that which is desired. In this context, it means wealth and things similar to it, power, progeny, and so on. One wants all these, and to get them, the Artharthi invokes the grace of Bhagavan. He thinks that he cannot live happily without these things, and so he makes use of various means to get them. He uses local influence, money, etc., along with Bhagavan, because he recognizes that there is always a factor over which he has no control. As a devotee, he is mature enough to recognize the chance element that he recognizes as Daiva. And there is no way of having any control over it without some grace. So, whenever he wants to accomplish something, he invokes the grace of Ishvara to control certain factors that he cannot control or even know. He will perform rituals in order to invoke Ishvara's grace to help him gain whatever he wants. This is Kamya Karma, a karma done with a desire to accomplish a given end within samsara. The one who does Kamya Karma is an Artharthi, but he is also an Artha, a devotee in trouble. When he is in trouble, he will of course invoke the Lord. And Artha, however, is not an Artharthi because only in distress can he think of God. So there is a small difference. Arta means the one who in distress. Like Brahmaraji, I think, is it same as that apatala, apatkale, when you in vipatti you think of God. And
Yeah.
artharthi means in for some like putra kameshti yajna or for
All the
some
karmas come under artharthi.
artharthi. Yeah.
You're not in distress, but you want to gain something. You want to achieve something in order to be happy.
Correct. Yeah. Then the third type of devotee is Jignasu. The third one is Jignasu. The order in the verse Artha, Jignashu, Artharthi is for the sake of meter. But in order of their understanding, the Artha and the Artharthi belong to one group. The Jignasu and the Gnani to another. Jignasu is the one who desires to know. What does he want to know? That is also important because even the one who does wrong actions, the dushkrutin, wants to know a lot of things like how to open locks, etc. But here the subject matter is Ishvara, the truth of Ishvara, Bhagavad Tattva. He is not invoking Ishvara's grace for simple accomplishments. He wants to know the truth of Ishvara, the ultimate cause of everything. And this Jignashu is a great devotee. He does not use Bhagwan as an accomplice for his small little pursuits. He wants to know who is Ishvara. As a bhakta, he invokes Ishvara's grace for this. He also offers his prayers. He also performs his daily and occasional duties, Nitya Naimitika Karma. But he does all this to gain a clear mind, Antahkarana Shuddhi, and the knowledge of Ishvara. This is like we belong to, most of us belong to this category, Jignasu. I read once again, it is very beautiful. The third one is Jignasu. The order in the verse Artha, Jignashu, Artharthi is for the sake of meter. But in order of their understanding, Artha and the Artharthi belong to one group, the Jignasu and the Jnani to another. Jignasu is the one who desires to know. What does he want to know? That is also important because even the one who does wrong actions, the dushkrutin, wants to know a lot of things like how to open locks, etc. But here the subject matter is Ishvara, the truth of Ishvara, Bhagavad Tattva. He is not invoking Ishvara's grace for simple accomplishments. He wants to know the truth of Ishvara, the ultimate cause of everything. And this Jignasu is a great devotee. He does not use Bhagwan as an accomplice for his small little pursuits. He wants to know who is Ishvara. As a bhakta, he invokes Ishvara's grace for this. He also offers his prayers. He also performs his daily and occasional duties, Nitya Naimittika Karma. But he does all this to gain a clear mind, Antahkarana Shuddhi, and the knowledge of Ishvara. Knowledge of Ishvara is nothing but knowledge of Atma. Ishvara, the cause of everything, happens to be in essence oneself. If Ishvara were other than Atma, he would be Anatma and therefore inert. The only conscious being is Atma and Ishvara is not separate from it. I read once again. Knowledge of Ishvara is nothing but knowledge of Atma. Ishvara, the cause of everything, happens to be in essence oneself. If Ishvara were other than Atma, he would be Anatma and therefore inert. The only conscious being is Atma and Ishvara is not separate from it. This seeming difference between Ishvara and the individual is due to Upadhi, as we have seen. There is only one reality, and that the Jignasu wants to know. He is a devotee because he seeks the help of Ishvara and performs prayerful actions to earn this help. But his actions are not for limited ends within samsara kamya karmas. The Artha and Artharthi are kamis because their kamas are, because their Kshamyatam, the Artha and Artharthi are kamis because their karmas are kamya karmas. The Jignashu, however, is a karma yogi. So his is a different type of devotion. Because of his extra punya, he has discrimination, viveka, and because of that, he is a Jignashu. Another is Jnani. And then there is fourth Bhakta. All four recognize me, and to the degree they recognize me, they are in union with me. The fourth one's recognition is complete. So his identification is total. When you are a Jignashu, you necessarily become a Jnani, the one who knows the truth of Lord Vishnu, Parameshwara as himself. He is a real Bhakta. So as in previous verses, Bhagavan has said, Jnani is me. I am in. So I repeat once again, Jnani, and then there is a fourth Bhakta. All four recognize me, and to the degree they recognize me, they are in union with me. The fourth one's recognition is complete. So his identification is total. When you are a Jignashu, you necessarily become a Jnani, the one who knows the truth of Lord Vishnu, Parameshwara as himself. He is a real Bhakta. How
just read that sentence again, Bela.
Yeah.
Jignasu, yeah.
Yeah. When you are a Jignasu, you necessarily become a Jnani, the one who knows the truth of Lord Vishnu, Parameshwara as himself. He is a real Bhakta.
That is such a reassuring. He's giving us such a guarantee.
Yes.
A Jignasu would necessarily become a Jnani. So we have nothing to fear as to, oh, how long is it going to take? Nothing. We just have to continue what we're doing.
Yes.
Continue being Jignasus. So ultimately, that will lead us to becoming Jnanis.
Yes. He is a real Bhakta. How the Jnani's devotion differs from that of all others. The Jnani's devotion is what we call Sadhya Bhakti. There are two types of Bhakti. One is Sadhana Bhakti, a devotion to Ishvara as a means. This is the devotion of a Jignashu. But the Bhakti of one who understands Ishvara, who recognizes the truth of Ishvara as Atma, is Sadhya Bhakti. It is a bhakti that has fulfilled itself, a devotion in the form of absolute love, Parama Prema Swarupa Bhakti. So beautiful. I read once again. The Jnani's devotion is what we call Sadhya Bhakti. There are two types of bhakti. One is sadhana bhakti, a devotion to Ishvara as a means. This is the devotion of a Jignashu. But the bhakti of one who understands Ishvara, who recognizes the truth of Ishvara as Atma, is sadhya bhakti. It is a bhakti that has fulfilled itself, a devotion in the form of absolute love, Parama Prema Swarupa Bhakti. So one is sadhana bhakti and another is sadhya bhakti. So beautiful. What is this absolute love? Between the object of love and the person who loves, there is no difference at all. Love consumes all the differences. That is what we call absolute love, and it is only in the form of knowledge. The non-difference is already accomplished because Ishvara is Atma. This is a fact which has only to be recognized. When there is already non-difference, its recognition is called Ananya Bhakti. Ananya means there is no other. The altar of bhakti and the seeker, the devotee, are one and the same self. That bhakti is not time bound or comparable because it is a fact. This is the devotion of a jnani. For him, all the bhakti has fulfilled itself. So, how can we call him a bhakta? He is still a bhakta if we consider a bhakta as someone who is in union with Ishvara. The other three are also in union with Ishvara, but for them, Ishvara is other than themselves and therefore remote, paroksha. For a jnani, Ishvara is immediate, aparoksha. That is the only difference, and it is a great difference. Again, among the three, Ishvara is always paroksha for the artha and the artharthi. But for a jignashu, he is paroksha only for the time being. So once he gains the knowledge, then he becomes the aparoksha anubhuti of Ishvara. Paroksha means indirectly known as omniscient, almighty, and so on. The difficulty is with the little knowledge I have. How can I appreciate omniscience? And with my limited power, how can I appreciate what is all powerful? By no stretch of the imagination is that possible. For an artha and an artharthi, then Ishvara is always indirectly known. Nitya Paroksha. Please remember this. For an artha and an artharthi, Ishvara is always indirectly known. Nitya Paroksha. For the Jignashu, however, there is a possibility of Ishvara becoming Aparoksha. And for the Jnani, he is Aparoksha because Ishvara, the cause of everything, is non-separate from Atma. Even though he is Atma of everyone, only the Jnani appreciates it. I read once again because there was voice break. For the Jignashu, however, there is a possibility of Ishvara becoming Aparoksha. And for the Jnani, he is Aparoksha because Ishvara, the cause of everything, is non-separate from Atma. Even though he is the Atma of everyone, only the Jnani appreciates it. Only he has an intellect subtle enough to recognize what is true for everyone. And the Jnani is distinguished here among the Bhaktas as a fulfilled Bhakta. The Jignashu is going to be fulfilled, and even the others will be fulfilled in time. Eventually, they will come to Ishvara. The artha, the devotee in distress, will become an artharthi and then a jignashu because he has devotion. His recognition of Ishvara paves the way for his progress. Bhakti devotion is any type of union between Jiva and Ishvara. By a proper action or even a thought, you are uniting yourself to Ishvara. But Jnani doesn't try to make a bridge between Jiva and Ishvara. Gaining the knowledge, he finds that he is always united. There is only one thing there, that is Ishvara, that is Atma. There is no second thing at all to unite with. So he is always united. Nitya Yukta, that is told in this next verse. So beautiful. So ultimately, Bhagwan is so compassionate. Everybody gets him. From the, you can say that Artha to the Gnani. Gnani becomes the Ishvara. He considers himself as the Atma, the Ishvara. If you want me to read any paragraph, please let me know. तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्त एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः. Tesham, among these, Gnani, the one who knows me, Eka Bhaktihi, whose devotion is resolved in oneness, Nitya Yuktaha, always united with me, Vishishyate is distinguished, he, because Aham, I am, Jnaninah, to the Gnani, Atyartham, totally, Priyah, beloved, Such, and he, Mama Priyaha, is my beloved. Tesham Gnani Eka Bhaktihi Nityayuktaha Vishishyate Hi Aham Gnaninaha Atyartham Priyaha Sacha Mama Priyaha. Among these, the Gnani, always united to me, his devotion resolved in oneness, is distinguished because I am totally beloved to him and he is absolutely my beloved. I repeat, among these, the Gnani, always united to me, his devotion resolved in oneness is distinguished because I am totally beloved to him and he is absolutely my beloved. So, Mata Chitta Mata Para Bhakti. The Gnani is always united to Ishvara. Tesham Gnani Nitya Yuktaha. Among these four devotees, the Gnani is always united to Ishvara. Gnani means the one who has immediate knowledge of the truth of Ishvara. He is a knower of the truth, Tattvavita. Because of this knowledge, he is always united to Ishvara, Nityayukta. This is a very important word here. As long as Ishvara is remote, Paroksha, one has to make a connection with him. I read once again, there must be a break of voice. Tesham Gnani Nityayuktaha. Among these four devotees, the Gnani is always united to Ishvara. Gnani means the one who has immediate knowledge of the truth of Ishvara. He is a knower of the truth, Tattva. Because of this knowledge, he is always united to Ishvara, Nitya Yukta. This is a very important word here. As long as Ishvara is remote, Paroksha, one has to make a connection with him. If one has a certain recognition of Ishvara, one connects oneself by some prayer, a thought, a mantra, some meditation, or some act like a ritual. If the connection is for redemption from some distress, it is the connection of an Artha Bhakta, Artha Bhakta. But it is not permanent, Nitya. He is united for now, later he will not be. It is the same for the Artharthi. When he undertakes something important, he thinks about Ishvara and then begins that action. At this time, he is united to Ishvara. The Jignashu is more or less always united because his whole mind is consumed by the desire to know the truth, and the truth is Ishvara. Therefore, his mind is more often than not connected. Therefore, his mind is more often than not connected. As a mumukshu, he is a karma yogi and therefore has a prasada buddhi. His attitude is, whatever action I do, it is all offered to you. Yat yat karma karomi tat tat tava aradhanam. He conforms to dharma because that is Ishvara for him. Therefore, he is more or less nitya yukta. More or less because he does not yet know Ishvara's truth, tattva. So too, a renunciate, sannyasi, seeking moksha is more or less a nitya yukta. The jnani, however, is nitya yukta. There is identity between Ishvara and Jiva, and he recognizes that. This fact is revealed by the Shastra which he exposed himself to as a Jignashu. Because of his desire to know, he inquired into the meaning of the Mahavakyas like Tat Tvam Asi. And in this, the identity is revealed. The one who understands that revelation is called the Tattvavita, the knower of the truth, and he is always united to Ishvara Nitya Yukta. Further, he is a Eka Bhakti. For him, there is only Atma. Previously, he was also a devotee, but now his very devotion resolves into one Atma. The difference between Jiva and Ishvara is resolved, and in his understanding the identity between Jiva and Ishvara, there is resolution of his devotion. His devotion to inquiry, etc., all resolves into that. Therefore, he is called Eka Bhakti, and he is Vishishyate, distinguished as the most exalted among the four. So here I am reminded of Nanaji's word that Avyabhicharini Bhakti is Eka Bhakti, where the Jnani considers himself as Ishvara, the Atma, and he is Tattvavid. Not he becomes, he is already knowing the truth, and therefore he is a Tattvavid because he is always Nitya Yukta Ishvara. He is always connected to Ishvara. If you want me to read any paragraph, just let me know. I will just read once again the Jnani.
Yeah, can you just read this once again?
Yeah. I will read the whole page. Therefore, his mind is more often than not connected. As a mumukshu, he is a karma yogi and therefore has prasada buddhi. His attitude is, whatever action I do, it is all offered to you. Yat yat karma karomi tat tat tava aradhanam. He conforms to dharma because that is Ishvara for him. Therefore, he is more or less Nitya Yukta. More or less because he does not yet know Ishvara's truth, Tattva. So too, a renunciate sannyasi seeking moksha is more or less a Nitya Yukta. The Jnani, however, is Nitya Yukta. There is identity between Ishvara and Jiva, and he recognizes that. This fact is revealed by the Shastra, which he exposed himself to as a Jignashu. Because of his desire to know, he inquired into the meaning of the Mahavakyas like Tat Tvam Asi. And in this, the identity is revealed. The one who understands that revelation is called the Tattvavita, the knower of the truth. And he is always united to Ishvara, Nitya Yukta. Further, he is Eka Bhakti. For him, there is only Atma. Previously, he was also a devotee, but now his very devotion resolves into one Atma. The difference between Jiva and Ishvara is resolved, and in his understanding of the identity between Jiva and Ishvara, there is resolution of his devotion. His devotion to inquiry, etc., all resolves into that. Therefore, he is called Eka Bhakti, and he is Vishishyate, distinguished as the most exalted among the four. So Bhagwan here has already said, he is my beloved and I am his beloved. For the Jnani, he is Tattvavita and he is Vishishyate, most exalted among the four. The Jnani is distinguished. All of them are devotees, but the Jnani has a special feature that makes him stand out. This is told here not to set the Jnani apart as someone extraordinary. What is pointed out is the extent to which our devotion has to mature. It has to mature in a knowledge by which one becomes always united to Ishvara, Nitya Yukta. All the devotion should resolve in that knowledge. Therefore, the one who knows is distinguished. Jnani Vishishyate. Bhagavan started off this chapter saying, Jnanam, Jnanam, Savijnanam Vakshyami. I will tell you about knowledge along with Vijnana. Here he says that the one who has that knowledge is a Jnani, the most exalted among the four types of devotees. Why is he so exalted? I repeat because there was a break of voice. The Jnani is distinguished. All of them are devotees, but the Jnani has a special feature that makes him stand out. This is told here not to set the Jnani apart as someone extraordinary. What is pointed out is the extent to which our devotion has to mature. It has to mature in a knowledge by which one becomes always united to Ishvara, Nitya. All the devotion should resolve in that knowledge. Therefore, the one who knows is distinguished, Jnani, Vishishyate. Bhagavan started off this chapter saying, Jnanam Savijnanam Vakshyami. I will tell you about knowledge along with Vijnana. Here he says that the one who has that knowledge is a Jnani, the most exalted among the four types of devotees. Why is he so exalted? There is an answer. Why is the Jnani distinguished? When someone is in distress, he calls upon me, and for the time being, he is one with me. At that time, he considers me to be his only refuge. But it is only when he is in distress. So what is he really interested in? Is he interested in me, or is he interested in getting relief from his distress? He is not interested in me really. He wants to make use of me like any other commodity. Because there is no other commodity that will release him, he resorts to me. For him, I am another source of help that he makes use of, all for release from his plight. Being a samsari, he is subject to getting into one difficulty after another, and then he has to make use of all the help available, local as well as non-local. The non-local help is myself, Ishvara. So beautiful. Therefore, Bhagavan continues and says, it is not exactly that I am a value for him. The value is to get out of trouble. My value is that I am useful for that. I am a common tender like money. For all the devotees for whom I am paroksha, I am not truly beloved, Priya. Even a Jignashu has not understood me. So I am not totally Priya for him either. For him, what is Priya is moksha. He wants release from bondage and therefore he invokes me. Only for the Gnani, I repeat this previous paragraph, please understand, Bhagavan has very tactfully put a line. Therefore, I repeat the previous paragraph. Therefore, Bhagavan continues and says, it is not exactly that I am a value for him. The value is to get out of trouble. My value is that I am useful for that. I am a common tender like money. For all the devotees for whom I am paroksha, I am not truly beloved, Priya. Even a Jignashu has not understood me. So I am not totally Priya for him either. For him, what is Priya is moksha. He wants release from bondage and therefore he invokes me. So we have to be very careful. Bhagavan has put a word that for him what is Priya is moksha. Only for the Gnani am I the most beloved. Priyah hi Gnaninah atyartham aham. Atyartham aham. Atyartham, correct? Priyah hi Gnaninah atyartham aham. Because only he knows me as Atma, the object of all love. Atma is Ananda, the only value in the whole creation. It therefore becomes the object of all love. Here Krishna uses the word atyartha, absolutely. So for the Gnani, I am totally beloved. Atma is known to him as Sat Chit Ananda Atma, and all love resolves into that Atma. Ananda, the fullness which is the nature of Atma, becomes love whenever there is a relationship. If the object to which he is related happens to seek a certain redress, then the love becomes service or compassion. The same love keeps on changing into various forms. Emotionally, Atma being Ananda and I being known to him as Atma, I am the most beloved for the Gnani. And that Gnani is also the most beloved to me. Atyartham sa cha mama priyaha. Atyartha is used for both Ishvara and the Gnani. Therefore, the Lord says that he, the Gnani, is the most beloved for me because he is me. In the next verse, he says this, Gnani tu Atmaiva me matam. He is my most beloved because he is myself. Sat Chit Ananda Atma. Priya is Atma. Why? Because Atma is the most beloved. So, Saha, he is Mama, my, the Lord's Priyaha, that is Atma. I read, it's a very, very beautiful paragraph. Only for the Gnani am I the most beloved. Priyaha hi Gnaninah atyartham aham. Because only he knows me as Atma, the object of all love. Atma is Ananda. the only value in the whole creation. It therefore becomes the object of all love. Here Krishna uses the word atyartha, absolutely. So for the Jnani, I am totally beloved. Atma is known to him as Sat Chit Ananda Atma, and all love resolves into that Atma. Ananda, the fullness which is the nature of Atma, becomes love whenever there is a relationship. If the object to which he is related happens to seek a certain redress, then the love becomes service or compassion. The same love keeps on changing into various forms. Emotionally, Atma being Ananda and I being known to him as Atma, I am the most beloved for the Jnani. And that Jnani is also the most beloved to me. Atyartham saha cha mama priyaha. Atyartha is used for both Ishvara and the Jnani. Therefore, the Lord says that he, the Jnani, is the most beloved for me because he is me. In the next verse, he says this, Jnani tu atmaiva me matam. He is my most beloved because he is myself. Satya Chitta Ananda Atma. Priya is Atma. Why? Because Atma is the most beloved. So, Saha, he is Mama, the Lord's Priya, that is Atma. In these two verses, Krishna has shown that 4 types of people worship him. They are Artha, a devotee in distress, the Artharthi, the one who invokes him not only in distress, but also when he wants to accomplish something. The Jignashu, who wants to know the Swarupa of Bhagavan, and the Jnani, who knows the Swarupa of Bhagavan and knows that essentially he is not different from Bhagavan. Among these 4, the Jnani is the most exalted. Even though they are all devotees, the Lord singles out the Jnani as the one who has accomplished what devotion can accomplish. All the others are united to him whenever they pray, but the Jnani is always united to him because he is a Tattvavita. He knows the truth of Ishvara as not separate from himself. Naturally, he is always united. Because of this knowledge that I am the Atma and Atma being Ananda Swarupa, the object of absolute love, the Lord says, I am the most beloved to him and he is the most beloved to me. I think we can stop here for the Manana. Very beautiful verse today. So kindly close your eyes for a few seconds and then let us share. Hari Om. I will just read the shloka once again, what we have. I think 2 shlokas we covered today, so that we can have Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritinarjuna arto jignasurartharthi jnani cha bharatarshava. O Arjuna, the people given to good actions who worship me are fourfold. They are the one in distress, the one who wants security and pleasure, the one who wishes to know me, and the one who knows me, O foremost in the family of Bharata.
Can you just chant the previous shloka also?
Yeah, I think 15th also we did today, right? Sorry. न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञाना आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः. Those who do wrong actions, who are deluded and the lowest among men, do not seek me. Robbed of their discrimination by Maya, they have resorted to the condition of those who revel in sense pursuits. This we have seen, 16. तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्ता एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः. Among these, the Gnani, always united to me, his devotion, resolved in oneness, is distinguished because I am totally beloved to him and he is absolutely my beloved. So my takeaway is sadhya, we have to be a sadhya. For me, that is my takeaway, and that avyabhicharini bhakti. Kindly unmute and share your takeaways. If you want me to read any paragraph, just let me know.
Yeah, I think verse 15. Is there any echo that you're getting?
No, it's okay.
There's no echo, right? Yeah. So the verse 15 talks of all the dushkritins, all those that have asuric qualities. It is important for us to know what an asura is, or as the one that is reveling in sense pleasures, the one who hurts others, who tells lies. All of this is included in the asuric qualities. So it is important for us to weed out these qualities in case they are there, so that then from dushkritins we become sukritins. We're all ultimately mixtures of sattva, rajas, tamo gunas and all our previous vasanas. So unless we are reflective, introspective and check within and do a self-appraisal of who we are, where we stand, then from there on you can progress. And then you can also slot yourself. Are you an artha? Are you an artharthi? Or are you a jignasu in the true sense? Or are we jnanis? So being a jignasu, there's nothing wrong in being an artharthi at all. Because ultimately you are connecting yourself to Ishvara. And that bhakti is that connect with Ishvara. It could be a thought, it could be a ritual, it could be a prayer. It could even be just recognition of that higher power. So that is your yoke that will take you further in the evolution. And what Krishna reassures is that these people will not be destroyed, so to say. They will be protected. They will evolve higher and higher. And for a jignasu, he says, he would necessarily become a jnani. So at some point, when that will happen, that is left to speculation. But a jignasu in the true sense, because he's constantly thinking of him, he's aligned with dharma. So there is no way he will do anything which is a dushkrit. He will not do anything which is asurik. But jnani is the most exalted, because the jnani is none other than me. There's no difference between a jnani and the atma. And therefore he is most beloved. He has the aparokshanubhuti, whereas the other three have paroksha. They are connected with Ishvara through a paroksha experience. There is always that duality. Paroksha is when you see Ishvara as the other. Whereas for a jnani, there is that advaita bhav. Yeah, I would invite others also to share. And he also talks of how the love that is there, the difference between Jignasu and a Jnani. Jignasu, he is keen, he's after moksha, he's not after me. He is not thinking of me all the time as in like a Jnani, because what he is interested is in moksha and liberation. This reminds me as to what Gurudev says. A bhakta is the most supreme. If you recollect the Narada Bhakti Sutras, love is the easiest route to gain the ultimate and the highest. Of course, love coupled with knowledge, but with Jignasu, he's holding on to the liberation factor that moksha is. He's holding on to that. So once you drop even that, then that becomes true absolute bhakti. You're not even interested in liberation. You're only interested in the divine. You just want to merge with the divine. That is the highest form of bhakti and devotion.
हरिओम। ब्रह्मराज जी, उनकी प्रेयर की वजह से, जो ज्ञानी है उनकी प्रेयर की वजह से भगवान को करना पड़ता होगा शायद, है ना? बिकॉज ऑफ देयर प्रेयर्स एंड दैट वननेस। जैसे जो नरसिंह मेहता और जो सेजिस थे, they used to say that we do not want moksha, we want to come again and again, and we want to continue doing your bhakti.
Jai Gurudev. In the last third paragraph, in which it is talked about the Jnani. Jnani, he's the totally he's the beloved of the Ishvara, and his these lines that written that
the nature of Atma is fullness. And when, if suppose if some object is there, which is related to it, happens that I'll read the lines written. If the object to which he is related happens to seek a certain redress, then the love becomes the service or compassion. So does this means that doing going for the seva also is it related in this way?
Yeah, very right. In fact, it's good that you pointed this out. This is what even I wanted to actually highlight. Here he's talking of the love of a jnani. If you look at how Gurudev is,
Yeah, that was what it struck me
reaching out to, he's reaching out to everyone out of that compassion, out of that love. All the programs and activities and service things that are happening are coming out of compassion to address the redressal of people around. And the same thing with Bhagavan Krishna when he says, what is that? Sambhavami yuge yuge.
And even
Paritranaya sadhunam.
Paritranaya, thank you. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. He's doing it only out of compassion. He is full. He does not need anything else. Even Gurudev, he does not need to do any of this. He's already there. But it is only out of that compassion that he is doing what he's doing.
So how we how we remember God every time is that what Percy was pointing yesterday. How can we remain with that part, or with that notion that we are part of the God, always remembering him? Then the way is doing our 100% is one way. Then out of you have that all that sattva gun, you have the daya, you have compassion for people, you want to help others. This is all related to godliness only. In this way, ultimately you are near to God through our actions only. Though we are not remembering his name, but doing all these sattvic acts is just near to godliness. I was just contemplating yesterday that how
very beautiful.
We can be always attached to that supreme is as a human being. We cannot every time say the name because we are involved in other activities. So it's that we make our this attitude that whatever we do with 100% effort, and always have compassion and the helping attitude for others. Then we will be in service of God only. Jai Gurudev.
Very beautifully expressed.
Yeah, so beautifully summarized.
All the human values, if you look at it, when you are living those human values of love, caring, sharing, compassion, being helpful wherever anyone is in need, reaching out and helping. So all that is, like you very rightly pointed out, you are expressing your love. And seva is what is an expression of love. Isn't it? And this is seva, which is nishkama seva, which is you're not expecting anything back in return. It's the highest form where you just do it because it's required at that point of time. And you're available to do it. I'm just reminded of that beautiful bhajan, Har saat teri puja tumhari, har pal tera prasad mera. Har pal mera prasad tera. So that's such a profound bhajan, which links every breath you take. It is, he is there. He's there in every breath, every action you do. Yeah. So if there's nobody else wanting to share for these shlokas, I think should we go to chapter 6?
Yeah, I will just.
Yeah, I will share screen, Bela. I'm able to.
You are able to, otherwise it is the same page. Okay.
Because I have it open already.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I did justice. I didn't complete it honestly, but I did do justice for at least a few pages. But it's so beautiful. I thought it better that we read it once, reread it one more time.
Jai Gurudev, I also went it, like I read for 3 days consecutively. Because
even I've
it
been
was
reading, Dr. Savita, I've been starting from the beginning till I think 5-6 pages I've done almost 3 times till now. But I still find that maybe I may not be able to express exactly what Swamiji is trying to mention here. So it is best, I think, for us to just read, because these are important verses.
Yeah, but you'll not be able to read the whole. So what I was I was reading, and I was figuring in between the lines. So what struck is there is only Atma. From that point, I was not able to figure out much. There is only Atma. It is on page number 345.
345.
Before that, it was quite clear, like what Swamiji wanted to say, that you can explain, but from here there is only Atma. It's a bit confusing. Only this paragraph. There is only
paragraph.
Atma. Yeah, this is a bit confusing where the Viyoga is explained.
Yeah. Do you want me to do this, or you want me to start from the beginning?
You start from the beginning, explaining the whole thing. And then we can
maybe
read,
we'll require 2 or 3 days for completing these 2 verses, but we'll take it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, then we can read in between also, and we can discuss also both.
Correct. Because getting the whole import is important, not just completing it.
Yeah.
Even I got a little this thing. I also been reading since last 3-4 days the entire thing, the Samyoga, Viyoga, and all that. And the only thing that I came to a standstill was in understanding that suppose you are a beginner, or you are already what he calls that two Sanskrit words, some Madhyama and something else, at a lower level, or where you are in still under this thing of your senses and all that, influence of your senses, etc. But that is not where we are. I don't think I can speak for myself. Most of us are beyond all that. And then coming to that, these desires turn into cravings because of our sankalpas and all that. Somehow, I feel that there are hardly any desires that I get in my mind. So I was looking at it from my point of view. And still, that sorrow is there, as I said, whenever somebody known to us expires or something. So he says that also should not happen. This viyoga that he explains, disassociation, discrimination, dispassion. But I mean, at that point of time, when you know somebody for 20 years, that just happens on its own. I mean, we are not at that level. I am not at that level, I feel, where I do feel melancholy when I lose somebody close to me. Maybe he may not be very close to me, but associated with me. So I don't know. That has not been covered by Swamiji. Of people who have grown to a certain extent, they still feel sorrowful. ultimately I went beyond what he explained also, so few more pages, where then he says that everything is Maya. So maybe even death is Maya. That was, I just went on and on because I couldn't get my answers. Anyway, I'm looking forward to your explanations.
Actually, it was instructions. Instructions are given by Bhagwan that you should follow this type of yoga. So, the person who is talked of, that he is not deterred any, like he is not affected in any way by the uneventful things which are happening in life. It is basically that Jnani we are reading. It is that type of Jnani who, that state which one has to reach. Bhagwan is explaining how you remain in that yoga. Everyone should try for it, and you should achieve that position. So that position is that of a Jnani who is not affected at all by all the uneventful things happening in life. He is reaching in that state. So he's telling us to you go into that state of yoga, the dissociation from association with sorrow.
That is when somebody is so complete, like when they achieved, I think there was some description was given as Purnam. Once you there, that's when um, this dukkha samyogam he says the viyogam is the yoga that we to practice in that one.
I remember one sentence of Gurudev: when your single hair is pulled, you feel it. So I think it is impossible for me also to dissociate with dukkha of anyone we are losing or somebody we are associated with long time.
We are still in the Jignasu state. We are not in Jnani state. So we all will be affected until unless we evolve so much that things will not affect us. It's the evolution process going on.
He mentions, no, dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. When a person reaches that state, gains that state, yam labdva chaparam labham, manyate nadhikam tataha. After gaining this, there is nothing greater that one needs to attain, because that is full. There is nothing other than that. When you're in that state, yasmin stito, when you're in that state, you're centered in that state, established in that state, na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. Even if the greatest of sorrows befalls on you, you will not be deterred. You just look at how Gurudev is. He should have been feeling so bad with him losing his important senior teachers, like talk of Rishi ji right now, Brigid ji. But then I think it is he is of course established. But for all of us, like Jignasus, what might help is the aspect of viveka, the aspect of discrimination, of what is real, what is not real, what is permanent, what is not permanent. We understand, we've read all through right now that the body is just like how you remove your clothes. The same thing. The physical body is the same, but the soul is eternal. In fact, just 23rd of April, we lost 22nd of April. No, 23rd of April, we lost our 12-year-old pet. It was a difficult situation, but deep within, I'm not saying I've reached that state, but deep within, that's what I was telling my daughter. I said, Mocha is our dog. She continues to live. Her spirit lives forever. Only the physical body is not there. We will not find her running around. We cannot take her for a walk, but her spirit is eternal. Her unconditional love is eternal. That is etched forever. So if we hook on to that rather than because we're human beings, because we still not reach that state, from time to time you might remember and then feel the absence and feel a little low about it. But deep within, you know that it is only the body, it is only the physical appearance that is not there. The physical body is not there. I think with practice and with the deepening viveka, you'll get there. Because that is
Also
what
that
exactly Swami Krishna is saying. The yoga that is given in Ashtanga Yoga is not what is talked of here. He's talking of the practice of actual yoga where you dissociate yourself from the strong association that we've had from lifetime to the sorrow, to the body, mind, sense complex. And therefore, whatever happens to it, we feel it. Same thing. But if X person is not there, he's no longer there. What is that which is causing the sorrow? It is the association with that person. Because that association is no longer there, it causes sorrow. Which is what Bhagavan is saying. He's saying, dissociate yourself from that association with sorrow. If you create that gap, I am absolute, I am full, Purnam, I am Purnam, I am Satchidananda. There is nothing other than me. When you're in that state, nothing can shake you. And I think, Persiji, like I said earlier, maybe we should not be too hard on ourselves. Like you mentioned also that Gurudev had a tear rolling down his. We cannot then, um, place him as saying, oh, he is also affected by sorrow. But what I'm saying is, even for you or for me, we should not be so hard on ourselves. Oh, I'm doing so much, but why? How come I'm still feeling the sorry? I'm feeling melancholy. It's okay. I think you just be aware of that. That you're aware of that you're feeling melancholy is like what Gurudev says is half job done, more than half job done.
And the intensity is much less now.
Isn't it? It
So
of course will be less.
Yeah.
Like for instance, when Rishiji passed on, I got to know one of my friends. She called me up and she was very grief stricken. She said, "How can this happen? Why did this happen? How come? How come it's COVID? He's an art of living teacher. This and that." I said, "Yes, but he is ultimately a human being, and that is everyone who's born has to die." And for me, what came to my mind is the shloka in, I think, chapter 2. It says, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuh dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad pariharyete natvam shochitum arhasi. You don't need to grieve because whatever is born will die. Even this body will die. Even Gurudev's physical body will not be there anymore. So are we going to grieve and then feel all the loss? No. His spirit, the spirit is eternal. So when you are yoked to that, I think then that centeredness will be there, and then, yeah. I know it's his birthday today, so let's celebrate his birthday. I would suggest that we all sing for him once. We can all put our videos on maybe for a change. I'll stop share. I think you stop Gita for now, and we'll all sing for Gurudev for in gratitude, because for me, I really feel indebted to him. If not for him, if not for the art of living, I would not be where I am right now. I would not be connected with all you beautiful souls. So one of us will unmute and sing, and all of us can mute ourselves and sing, so that it'll be beautiful. Madhuri ji, I would request you to sing, and we will all sing with ourselves with us muted.
I would say someone who really sings well, let them take the lead.
You take the lead and sing.
You have a beautiful voice. You go ahead, Madhuri ji.
I will try. सागर में एक लहर उठी तेरे नाम की, सागर में एक लहर उठी तेरे नाम की, तुझे मुबारक खुशियाँ आत्मज्ञान की, तुझे मुबारक खुशियाँ आत्मज्ञान की, तुझको है अनंत में जाकर मिल जाना, तुझको है अनंत में जाकर मिल जाना, तू है सुंदर फूल इस संसार की, तू है सुंदर फूल इस संसार की, हैप्पी बर्थडे टू यू, हैप्पी बर्थडे टू यू। जय गुरुदेव।
Jai Gurudev. In fact, we should sing this to ourselves. He is already there. It's that part of him that we are. It's all this is applying to us. So happy birthday to all of us. I would like to sing the Sanskrit version also.
Are you sleeping, Vikram?
Janmadinamidam ai priya sakhe shantanotu te sarvada mudam prarthayamahe bhavashatayushi ईश्वर सदा त्वां च रक्षतु पुण्यकर्मणा कीर्तिमर्चया जीवनं तव भवतु सार्थकम् जन्मदिनमिदम् अयि प्रिय सखे शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम् सर्वदा मुदम् सर्वदा मुदम्। So we'll just do the Shanti part. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev. So as a gift to Gurudev, let us recommit ourselves to this path and continue doing what we're doing, continue to be in knowledge, be in sadhana, seva and satsang. Jai Gurudev.
धन्यवाद सर्वे। जय गुरुदेव।
Percy ji, you want to say something? We'd like to hear from you today.
What can I say? I'm overwhelmed preparing for today's Guru Puja at 6 o'clock, 6:15 with Bhanu Didi.
Correct.
So I already have swept and swabbed my entire terrace, kept it. People are coming over and the celebration start from 6 onwards. People want to bring in flowers and all that. And then we'll meditate. The whole world meditates with Gurudev today. I only want to say that, look, he's leading us into meditation even on his birthday. Instead of just celebrating, he is doing seva for the entire world. If a little bit we can return by doing some seva for him. He wants everybody to bring a smile on people's face. Whatever little way we can contribute to bringing a smile on people's face by bringing them to the cause. That is all that we can give him. What else can we give him? He has everything.
Yeah, very true.
Jai Gurudev.
Very true.
Thank you so much, Percy Bhaiya. Thank you.
Yeah. Jai Gurudev. We'll meet up tomorrow. Oh, that's so beautiful. Can we have a look at it again? So sweet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you to show us. This is this.
on his terrace.
Ah, in
You're
Bombay?
muted, Percy ji. You're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Is it in Bombay? Bombay?
Yes, in Navi Mumbai on my terrace, I have a private terrace where I have my follow-up every Saturday. And today they themselves requested that they would want to come for Guru Puja and all that. I don't ask anybody because then once you have a desire that they should come and they don't turn up, then you feel a sort of
No, you are
but they
much
themselves
higher
asked
than
for
that.
it. So I said welcome because I was going to do it in any case.
Thank you.
So beautiful.
So from morning I've been working on sweeping, swabbing, sterilizing the whole
Wow.
place.
Wow.
You are an
Seva.
epitome for us, an
Very,
inspiration
very
for us.
inspiring. Very inspiring.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Thank you, Percy, for being with us. And thank
Yes.
you, Veda ji. I want to be as nice in talking as you. You are so respectful and sweet. Thank you.
Oh, Dhanyavad. We are all the same.
No,
Vasuri.
I am not. Thank you. Thank you.
Bela is
Dhanyavad.
part of all of us, Dr. Renu. She's
Yes.
only an
Yeah.
extension of us. We're all the same. We're all one
Same.
organism. We're all
That's,
one.
that's how
We are all
sweet.
Basuri. I call flutes. We are all flutes of Krishna.
Okay. Okay.
Chalo.
Thank
Jai
you, Dr.
Gurudev.
Tanya.
Jai
Jai
Gurudev.
Jai
Gurudev.
Gurudev. Jai Gurudev.
Have a blissful day. Bye.
Thank
Jai
you.
Gurudev.
Happy birthday to all of us.